Hey, I'm Corey. I'll be facilitating. We've got a couple more people in here now, so that's great. We can go ahead and get started with a round of check-ins. I will start off that, how am I feeling? A little tired, but okay. Just weird weather here. My top priority for the week, well, there are several things, but everything on the agenda, but largely focused on outlining some strategy, making sure, we're making progress on that front, doing a lot of planning. In addition to, gonna be doing some landing page writing and tweets, most likely. And making sure that we're making progress on the optimism campaign outreach. Otherwise, distractions, none. I'm very focused today here, and intentions are to facilitate the call. I'll pass it to you, Makizi.
Okay, I'm actually feeling good. I have no distractions, and my intention for the call is actually to listen in and see what's going on in the comms team also. Yeah, I'll pass it on to Nicola.
Thanks, Makizi. Hi, everyone. I'm feeling pretty good, slightly distracted. My comms priority for this week, well, it's a little more internal. I am still wanting to work. It's waiting in the line on the little bit more planning around Meet the Makers, and also like working a little bit more with Almond on the comms strategy around that. So that's something I want to do this week, and likely also start crafting another thread. Oh, and maybe actually have a quick checking around this because I have an idea how to maybe utilize these types of tweets and in support for Meet the Makers of the verified projects. Anyways, so that's something like strategically wise, I'd like to definitely have a little check-in around what's the temperature. And then there's a lot of projects coming in right now, so that's cool. And I am here to see what's going on this week in comms, what's the plan, and if there are some things that need my help, support. That's pretty much it. Passing it to Suga.
So I'm okay. I'm actually feeling pretty battling a terrible cough, and just having had a pretty exhausting weekend that I need weekend from the weekend. I'm here, and I'm cost focus is the wrapping up very quickly a couple of SEO landing pages, and then starting another one. So really wanting to take care of that in the next couple of days. And otherwise, I've got some responsibilities outside comms. So, but then so that's this week. So I'll just leave it at that. There's other comms stuff, but it's not necessarily for this week. Okay. So and then distractions. I'm okay. I'm here. I'm good. I will pass to Ashley.
Thanks, Suga. I'm feeling good today. Everything's moving forward great, and school is getting exciting. I'm like flying by myself now, so that's really cool. My top comms priority for the week is doing some ETH Barcelona outreach, like helping Franco and Santi to outreach to projects for impact quests. I want to help out with this like strategy and sub-DAOification stuff between comms and Communitas, and help to like maybe facilitate this like survey results session on how we can incorporate the survey results into our strategy as well. help out to spread the word about the Aprendamo stuff and maybe just check in on these like homepage updates. I know you mentioned something this morning, Corey, so however I can support with that. And I think that's much it for me for comms. Intentions for the call, I guess that just to check in on the homepage stuff and be caught up and to stream. And my distractions are just doing like a little bit of work in the background, but nothing major. And I'll pass it to Lauren.
Hey, I'm feeling okay. Yeah, my comms focuses for the week. Well, there's like one com/QF thing with this Octant golem thing. Basically, Octant is gonna give us some funding for QF matching pool, but they want to do like some comms campaigns. They want some support in comms campaigns to like whatever, or brainstorming comms campaigns. So I'm looking at that right now. Other than that, just coordinating things for the Twitter, and I've been trying to onboard D a little bit more to our Giveth planning flow, and yeah, those are kind of like the main things I'm running around with here. I'm a bit distracted by reading through that Octant doc right now, and I think I'm last, so I'll pass it back to Corey.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Oh, and did you see the message Ahmad said he couldn't make it? If you didn't see that.
No, I didn't see.
He said he got roped into another call.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, wanted to kind of kept the agenda light today, but I've also added some of the things that you've mentioned here. And yeah, I mean, just really quickly, Ashley, to touch on your check-in with the homepage, Nicola already helped with that, which is super nice of her. And just kind of know now what needs to be done. We need to actually add another section there because we realized the Gitcoin information is not relevant anymore.
Oh,
but we
perfect.
do have the
Cool.
changes made there. So.
Great. Awesome.
So thanks, Nicola, for that. But that doesn't change the fact that I still want to solidify onboarding. Because I know, I had the access issue with admin bro before, so that should hopefully be resolved now. So that's still the case. But I'll let you know. I'll get back to you on that. So as a big FYI, we have a strategy call tomorrow for comms, and really we should be using the word marketing. And that's scheduled for tomorrow in case you're not aware. Wait, I'm sorry, I forgot to put the exact time. That should be same time as, right? Yeah, same time as this call.
That's 10 a.m.
Okay.
Costa Rica time, yeah.
Yeah. And the idea there is to focus entirely on strategy instead of on implementation. So just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of that in case you still want to join. And we do have a spreadsheet that we're planning to, that we've been kind of trying to fill in over a period of time now. I've been pinging people, and so just going to leave it here as well for reference, but definitely still need a couple of things estimated here in terms of hours dedicated per month. So Lens, for example, and there's the GM podcast, which is probably a bigger one, the Give Talks and referral program. And why is this happening?
Yeah, I was able to like fill in outcomes as best as I know, but like as far as hours, it's really difficult. So maybe ping Almond. I don't know if she's planning on coming to the call tomorrow. I would love to join you guys, but I'm hosting the AMA at the same time, so I won't be able to. Are you going to record it?
We can, we could record it.
Okay, I mean, I would love to like stay in the loop as we move forward because I want to be able to help support, but I won't be able to come to the call.
Yeah. Okay. I think we need to find a time to sync beforehand because like that like you're a part of it. Like the idea is like Ahmad and I have been having these sessions already, but we wanted to make sure to have input from you and like from Lauren and from others. But yeah, we can see if maybe we can sync beforehand at some point tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Or even later today.
Or do you want to bump it an hour later or an hour earlier? If that would work for you, Ashley.
An hour later would be fine. An hour earlier is our ETH Barcelona planning call. But I mean, I can maybe
Right.
leave that call early and maybe do like the last half or something like that. So if we wanted to like move it up by half an hour, I could probably leave the ETH Barcelona call early.
Yeah, that depends on the. I'm afraid at this point, like scheduling calls has become really tricky. So I'm not sure about the others. Like Ahmad's not here. That would work for you, Suga. Would that work for you, Lauren?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you moved it up, I could still go. If you move it down, I can't go. As it is, I have to leave 10 minutes early.
Okay. So, yeah, but then we're all leaving the ETH Barcelona call early, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we have too much stuff that we're really like syncing on right now. For me, it's just like Impact Quest stuff, so I could see if Mitch could do that at the beginning of the agenda.
Okay. Okay, I mean, everyone else is here except for Ahmad, and
All right, we'll check in with him, and if it works, let's plan to do it. And if not, as long as it can be recorded and I could just like at least listen to it later, so I could stay caught up with what you guys talk about. So that would be really cool.
Yep. Okay, great. Yeah. And then, yeah, just FYI, like, again, trying to get this filled out. I've been pinging people. If you know, like, I mean, I don't know if it's fair to just leave this all to Almond to estimate. So, but I don't know. I can't fill this in. So,
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to, I could like put maybe at least mine for the ambassador program, but as far as like the GM podcast and the Give Talks, I'm not really involved with either of those initiatives personally, so I have no idea there. I could put my time in for the ambassador program. Yeah, and I put in the
Okay.
AMA stuff, like everything that I know I've tried to fill in there. And I think there's even some
Okay.
like outcomes that I'm not aware of because like the Twitter spaces, we can't go back and see how many people watch them on Twitter. So I tried to just like average because once they're gone from Twitter, they're gone. So we can't go back and see. So I think this is just like really solidifying the importance of like recording this stuff as we move forward and like tracking it as we go and having a place to like keep track of all these things.
Wait, that's not true about
Okay.
Twitter Spaces. They're recorded and yeah, you're talking about the ones that aren't recorded because you can go to the ones that are recorded and I think it does have stats about how many people
You mean
join and
in
stuff.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay,
on
because I
Twitter.
scrolled down, like, I mean, it's definitely kind of hard to find them because we tweet so many things, but I tried scrolling down as far as I can and like relocating some of them, but I couldn't find them. And I think that that's why we decided to record them and put them on Spotify and YouTube is because they disappear after a certain amount of time.
I didn't know they disappear after time. You know, an easy way of finding them just for future is you could check in our tweet channel where the bot tweets.
Oh, yeah.
That's like way easier to filter for tweets. And then the other thing is you can use like advanced search on Twitter, and I can send you a link on how to do that. But I often use the tweets channel when I'm like, oh my god, there's too much stuff on Twitter.
No, that's a good idea. I'll look at that and see if I can find some more information. But yeah, the reason Almond chose why we started putting them on Spotify and YouTube is because after a certain amount of time they delete from Twitter.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Almond can give context on these things. I just know sometimes, like, yeah, it's like I don't know if she can estimate the hours of everyone, but I will ask her to check these. And yeah, if you have anything else to add here in context, that would be great. Twitter is a big one. There's visits, but there's also growth. And I think that's really like an ideal number, is like how much it's grown since January 2023, so that we can kind of, I'm doing that for each one of these, like trying to sort of estimate whether it's worth the time. But yeah, that's the point of the meeting tomorrow, is to, next steps is to sort of go through these things that we've been doing thus far, to talk about that a bit and with some more tangible information, and to start making some decisions on how to act on them, as well as looking at our available resources in the working group currently. Well, I guess this involves multiple working groups. And look at the next step, how to align strategy with what we're currently able to do. I will get back on the 30 minutes thing. Just have to ping Ahmad after this call. Or actually, maybe I can ping him really quick now. Hey, Jake.
I pinged him. FYI,
Oh,
you can ping him too, but just so you know, I pinged him in 2 places.
Oh, great. No, thank you. Okay.
Oh, and he says, yes,
Cool.
that works for me.
Oh, okay. All right, then we'll
I said 30 minutes early, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll do 5:30 p.m. Your Central European time. Okay. All right, cool. That's done. I'll update the invite and we'll do it in the comms channel, but it's gonna happen. Any other questions around this in preparation for the call tomorrow, or about this sheet, or what we're looking for? Okay. And regarding like actually pulling analytics from all of these platforms, that would be the one thing. It would just ask, like I've been pinging with Steve, like Lauren, if you have access to any, to pull quick numbers on Twitter. Maybe Tweet Hunter is just spitting that out on growth. We also have our blogs, right? So in terms of trying to measure the I'm going to take a look at Medium and see what analytics I can see there. But yeah, kind of just taking that mentality with all of these things. Yeah, the newsletter's already there. Cool. All right. Then next up on the agenda, we also have the Give News May edition. Ahmad is not here, but we just had a meeting right before this call, and he's just looking for any missing input here to prepare for the newsletter to go out in the next days or the end of the month. So we've got, obviously we've got the podcast launch, both of them. We have Cello and Optimism, and the Give Friend, would be Gateway FM. And we have the AI April recap to include. I'm just going to double check because I feel like we already updated our base on like AI April for the April edition. So I'm not sure we need to like report on that twice, unless you really specifically want the tweet exposure in the newsletter. Lauren.
I mean, yeah, I think it's a good idea to put it in there. There's a lot of work that went into it, and it's kind of the last of it is just this like one tweet. So it's like, here's a recap of all the stuff we did. I think it's cool. We didn't mention our last newsletter.
Yeah. Okay. I'm also thinking Gitcoin grant results seem to be missing from the list. Not that we have the final results, but we do have some stuff we can report on that, right? And also thank the community.
Yeah, good idea. I think we don't have most of the results, only for the super modular round, but we can definitely like thank you to everyone who voted.
Optimism Project giveaway is referenced here, but we also want to obviously, I mean, I guess it's, I would assume he just didn't write it here, but obviously it's Optimism launch as well. Yeah. Anything else that comes to mind? Are there any other grants from the fundraising side that we closed that we should be promoting? Okay. I guess not.
You could put in there the Octant thing. I'm like trying to loop Almond in on it a little bit. It's this. They're going to be giving this is coming in June, but it's like kind of a little bit unclear. They're going to be giving NFTs to people to then vote on how to distribute funds to one of 10 projects, and Giveth is going to be one of them, or at least our matching pool will be. So, I mean, yeah, it would be great to be like, here's how you could claim your NFTs, or like keep an eye out for this or something like that. Maybe you could just put a note and tag me on it, and I can give a follow up with a mod with some more information.
Yeah, it's an NFT giveaway, you said, or
no? It's like if you're an aligned community member and their eligibility requirements is not clear yet, but if you are like eligible, you could claim an NFT, which is then your voting token, and you can vote on how to distribute the funds.
Okay.
I think also the Panvala stamps outcome, like they did their distribution, so that would be cool. The projects on Giveth that got Panvala stamps support.
Okay.
I did
Cool.
make a tweet about it, so the information should be, or I mean, I made an issue to make a tweet about it, so that the information should be there.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, great. Okay, if anything else comes to mind, the issues linked here in the agenda. I can't think of anything right now, but I'll check as well. Cool. And yeah, I just wanted to list here the verified tweet threads because Nicola, you mentioned it in your check-in. You said you had some ideas around this?
Yeah, we had a really great, potent discussion last time with the retrospective for Meet the Makers, and we're looking into just creating more work basically around the project and making it well known. And also, we're looking for ways how to support and feature more projects. And one of the things that we were discussing was just to have more tweets around verified projects. And well, and when I heard this, for me, it was like, well, we already do this anyway. So why don't we actually make it more around like using the verbiage of around meeting the makers, as well as making calls for donations, but as actually, yeah, I would say I call it like killing two birds with one stone, or how was the expression? So that, you know, if we should, was it correct?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, to actually like shift a little bit the way we communicate this and make it more about like meet the makers, besides just having them streaming and talking about their project. We're definitely planning to like invite more projects into the space and make them speak like for shorter amount of time. And at the same time, now we're going to be building on the strategy and like talking if even creating some spaces and like actually really making it a little bigger than it is and making the impact a little bigger than it is, and just being able to feature and include more projects. So basically Yeah, that I guess. Am I clear in my point? I'm just trying to.
I'm a little lost.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
just trying to steal the verified tweet thread and like take it for like into the Meet the Makers perspective and concept. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so when in our meeting we kind of were talking about how we should have maybe more frequent events. Like if we really want this to be a thing that catches on and gets people involved and engaging our community, that we should have more places instead of just like once every 3 months have an event called Meet the Makers, that we should be using this like verbiage in other places, whether that be like a blog post that's featuring projects, or have Twitter spaces that are featuring projects that are also called Meet the Makers, and we should be using like this, coin this verbiage in more places so that people are seeing this branding, and then that it's kind of like standing out a little bit more. And so this would be one of the things, like instead of having a tweet thread where we're featuring verified projects, we'd just be like putting out individual tweets, Meet the Makers tweets that have like one project and maybe like telling a little bit about their story and going a little bit deeper into that one project rather than just a big thread of a lot of different projects. Does that make more sense?
Thanks, Ash.
Yeah. So essentially singling out the projects, and instead of describing them just as verified projects, like describing it, just using branding more around the lines of Meet the Makers, and then doing like
really
a deeper
like
dive.
featuring them and like trying to support them and like bring more eyes on the work that the projects are doing, instead of it being about look at the projects we verified this round. It's like, and we would only do it with verified projects, so any of them people would get give backs for donating to them, and maybe even doing it on like Facebook and some other social media platforms as well. It's definitely an idea that's
nice.
like developing more over time, and it's something that we're like working to incorporate and define a little bit better as we move forward, but this is the idea.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I love the idea. Also part of like I really want to take a dive into Twitter analytics and look at what these verified tweet threads are really like generating. Because I think, I'm not sure like how much of an impact that they're having. And I like the idea a lot more of like singling out projects and telling the story, because I think it maybe one at a time could be a lot more effective as like an emotional appeal for people to learn.
I can just like briefly comment on this, because since from the moment that I'm using the bit.ly links, like basically, I don't know if you notice, but like the links are not like direct Giveth links, but they are shortened using this platform called bit.ly. And now I actually have an insight into like how many clicks went through that link, and the numbers are really low. It's like if there was like 6 clicks on one, that was a lot, which is, I don't know, considering that maybe those 6 people, if like 2 or 3 of them donated, it's still an impact. But yeah,
I think looking at the big question is like, did they donate? So looking at like the donation analytics would be really useful as well. But yeah, if 6 people clicked the link and then none of them donated, then it's kind of like,
I mean, I don't know, because I think driving traffic to a project's page on already is like quite a significant achievement. Like if there were, obviously you want them to convert, but then you need to look at the project's page and you need to look at the DApp, not at the tweet activity. Because if like these tweets were generating like lots of clicks to the project page, I would consider that pretty successful from like the Twitter perspective. If we're not capturing donors at that point, then it's more of a DApp issue or a website or copy or project page issue. At least that's my take on it. But I also agree that it would be great to just like tie the whole loop, obviously, so we can see. And if 6 clicks is like the high end,
Well, I'm just looking at it.
It would be
And
very. Mhm.
I'm just looking at it. Sorry for jumping in. I'm just looking at it and I'm seeing that the highest rate had Moondao with 13 clicks. That's the biggest number looking at like last 4 months. Yeah.
Okay. And that also doesn't tell the whole story, right? Like maybe the thread is really good and maybe that one got a lot of clicks because we tagged Moondao who shared it and that resulted in this, and this. So it's definitely like a good idea that we properly analyze those tweet threads. Like really just take a look at the last 5 or 10 and like just check before just deciding to like go this route or this route. But in general, I think the idea is great to focus in more on projects and do more like concerted storytelling versus mass posting a bunch. So yeah, I would say, I don't know, I would love to see more analytics on this. Do you think, Nicola, you could provide that just in a simple sheet or something kind of? Maybe you say 13 is the highest. Like, I'd love to know more. Is it like the average is like 2 clicks, or just to kind of see like what
I can share my screen and show you right now, and it will be very quick, and you will see that the numbers are just very low. And if you want, if you want, I can like show you right now, and we can assess it like in this moment.
If it's just like 2 minutes, sure.
Yeah,
it'd be, I think, interesting insights.
Okay, let me do this. You see my screen?
Yeah.
So when we look in this part, engagements, this is what, as you can see, there's a date here. This is the link. So these are the numbers of like how many clicks went through that. So this is the recent. This is from April 4, 3, 7, 6, 2, 13. As I said, this was the most successful one. 8, 8, 4, 4, 2, 3, 11. Well, in my opinion, this is really like very, very, very little. I imagine that it may help to those projects, but this is as much as I can see from like using these links. I don't know what would be the other measurable like statistics that you want to look at. Like there's 0 here at the beginning of November. Oh, that's not here. Sorry. I guess we're looking from. This is check. We are looking at this from February. So yeah, basically between 1 click to like 13 maximum, and that's like more rare. If it's above 10, it's below 10. It's like even less. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what you wanna like. Where you read from this, what we can make out of it.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting, and thanks for sharing that. And I think it's just like kind of the point is like if we're gonna make decisions about like, okay, we're gonna stop doing this and start doing this now, it would be good to back it up with numbers, right? Like, okay, we see these amount of clicks and it's not, and also, but like tying the loop together, like checking, did those clicks result in donations? Because that's not bad if the conversion, like if you do get 13 clicks and there's like a few of those that turn into donations, like that's not terrible. But maybe there's absolutely no donations coming from any of these clicks. And also we want to compare that to the amount of time that's put in to write the thread and just kind of have a loop, like a just one reporting loop on like this work, right? Before deciding to close, to just like switch to something new. And then if we start creating those like more singular storytelling tweets for projects, let's make sure that we can measure that as well, right? To see the change or the effect.
Mm-hmm. So what would you like? I have no idea how would I create like more outcome out of this. Like I don't know how to find out if those clicks resulted in a donation. Honestly, no idea.
It
I
would
guess
have
we
to take a
could
look at
get
that
like
program.
the project page itself and at the time that the post was made and try to judge it around then, because that bit.ly thing doesn't tell you like what day it was clicked on, right? It just tells you the total amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me have a double check on this. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It depends how much information that interface is giving you. Maybe it even lets you pull reports, like download to a file or something.
Yeah, maybe
And
if it wasn't a free version, but this is a free version and that's very basic. So I'm looking at
maybe dates
Yeah.
on the clicks, 'cause that would help.
Maybe what?
Yeah, if it gives you any dates on the clicks, that would help. And what we can do is evaluate a few of them, maybe like the highest ones, and then just see.
No, it doesn't. It really just showed me the total number.
Okay.
But I know when
Yeah.
when was the link generated, but also it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the day that the tweet was posted, because sorry for the noise. Because sometimes it takes a week or more to actually post the tweet thread, as you know. So I'm not sure how much we can rely on this. Looking at like the nitty-gritty stuff.
Well, anyways, it's a really good exercise to look into that. And I think again, just the point is like I don't see really an issue with switching. It depends how much time it would take to create more like in-depth content around projects. We need to also consider the fact that like it's maybe it's an incentive for projects to get verified that they know they'll be promoted. So we want to still find a way to easily like promote all of them. But then maybe we could do more featured highlights on certain ones for certain reasons within our capacities. So it's really cool. Thanks for bringing that up. And we can talk about it off this call, but if there is any way to maybe like we can create a little bit of manual reporting around this and like try to check on a couple of them, that would be great. Because we're just trying to do that for everything right now.
Okay, yeah, I'll see what I can dig and find out.
Okay, nice. Also, Lauren, you mentioned you have some comms needs. Is that something you want to talk about on the call here for the QF?
I not yet. I'm trying to loop Amin into it, and also still trying to wrap my head around like what exactly needs to get done then. So I'll bring it up later. But it's what I'm working on this week so far.
Okay. All right. Okay, then I mean, we used up a bit of time now, but maybe it's just we can more touch on it conversationally, but I wanted to leave some space to talk about ChatGPT because it's been a little while since we had the AI April project going on in April. And since we're the comms working group, this is an AI tool that can be like very, very useful for us to create content. And also since we have a smaller comms group than ever before, at least since I've been at Giveth, the more tools we have available to create content quickly, the better. And so I wanted to have an open discussion, like a engaged discussion with everyone here on how comfortable you feel with ChatGPT, whether you're using it in your work right now, and start a conversation around, should we do an onboarding for it? Or do you feel like you're already onboarded? Maybe we could go in a quick circle for those who are usually creating content for comms. and just see, because I'd love to support if I can.
Yeah, I've used it, which is probably why I had some content with some really terrible mistakes. That thing that was the hashtag, whatever I had in there that we were looking at today, Corey. But yeah, I feel quite comfortable with it. I feel like I know how to, what I'm looking for. I've even used it like with my kids and stuff. So just kind of, I know how to maybe sort of, from my angle, treating it like a student that I'm trying to teach something or get something out of in particular. But I'm super open to, learning more, and I'm paying attention to all the tips I see coming along through everybody on the AI April Telegram group, and then also whatever I see on Twitter, and just in general, like the big hubbub, the big rage about it, and trying to learn more and stuff.
Cool. And actually, maybe not to completely confine this just to ChatGPT, are there any other tools that you use right now for comms content, maybe like visual or otherwise?
Me, no, not at this time.
Okay. Cool. Maybe then I can ask Kotabe, for example. I know you actually just created like a bunch of content for us. Are you using any AI tools for your writing?
Yeah, I actually used ChatGPT for part of the, like, I just put most of the information and then transforming that into a Twitter thread and transforming it then into a LinkedIn post. And then, like, since I made it in Spanish, then translating it into English, but like keeping the voice and all these things. I use it. I think that, for example, maybe I should be better with having or inputting the voice of Giveth there, like no hashtags or less hashtags and all these things. But I do feel comfortable with Asuga, also open to learn more and how to better use it to keep kind of like the Giveth voice, I think.
Okay. And that's for ChatGPT. Are you using anything else at the moment?
Last month, since I was doing some KYC and I needed to go to certain like contracts, and sometimes the jargon is very complicated, I used a tool that will simplify that jargon. I have it on my like AI slides, but for comms, I'm only using ChatGPT.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep it to comms specific. Cool. Thanks. Does anyone else want to give some input?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I found ChatGPT is actually really useful for writing copy and stuff for the website. Like, we have all these things come up that's like, oh, how do we describe the referral program in 3 words? So I'm using ChatGPT a lot for describing our products, and then like working on copy and copy suggestions. So yeah, I wanted to share that because I think it's pretty useful. Also, like for like meme creation, like I don't find that like maybe ChatGPT doesn't come with the best meme titles, but I'm using like Midjourney to generate images of like kind of what I want to see in the background of the meme, and then like like layering on top of it with image flip. That's what I was doing yesterday, Ashley, and tagging you on. I was using Midjourney for that. I think that's really useful. And then also, like for making these like thread of threads, like I use ChatGPT to make the AI April thread of tweets. It's like I reformatted the docs, so all the tweets were in there, and then got ChatGPT basically to like summarize each of the tweets that I had written before. And then like it wasn't super effective at like matching the right links in the right places. But then, okay, once I did that, it was like good at adding like emojis to the beginning of them. So I think like a few iterations on tweet writing has been really useful as well. Yeah, I mean, I use ChatGPT a lot when I want to like bounce some ideas off of. off of somebody and like come up with like names and titles and copies and things like that. So yeah, I think it's useful. I want to share.
Cool.
I mean,
Who else
honestly,
here is creating content?
I've tried to use ChatGPT for a few things, and I don't know, it's like it just doesn't quite get me the result that I want. I don't know if it's just because I'm like trying to write so potently and it just comes out very diluted. It just like, for instance, even with this like docs thing where you're asking support questions to the AI bot, like the results that you get, it's like yes, but not really, you know, it's like just kind of off a little bit. It just doesn't give me like that precise thing that I want, but I guess I have used it for more kind of uh like technological things, I guess, for like creating formulas in spreadsheets or like I can just describe what I want it to do in the spreadsheet and it'll pop out the formula that I need, or you know, some of these more kind of like technical things it's really helpful for me with. The one thing that I wanted to mention in here that I have like noticed or like read a couple articles about, and I'm not sure how true it is because there's so much things out there about AI right now, but I've heard that since we're doing so much work on SEO and things like that, I've heard that there may be in the future like a penalty for websites that are using a lot of AI generated content when it comes to SEO stuff. So I think that that's something that we should keep in consideration, that maybe Google would detect that we're using AI and then we would be penalized on our like ranking. So I just wanted to bring that up, and maybe it's not true and who knows, but just something to keep in mind.
No, I totally agree. And I think that's something like, I think, you know, like we should use ChatGPT, but not use like it as final results. It's like everything needs to be like edited. And I think like Suga's been a big proponent of like, look at all the errors, you know?
Yeah. No, that's funny. I said the same thing earlier today to Corey. I read something quite similar too. And I definitely wouldn't use the final results. Like you definitely have to, like Lauren said, fix it up. But also, Corey had some interesting feedback about this. You go ahead, Corey, if you want to explain what you told me about the penalizing thing.
Yeah, it's also in my AI video recording. Basically, like the tools I've been using, I use a few different tools for the project that I'd like to keep using, which is like Descript is a great tool to transcribe things from audio. So like our podcasts or our Twitter spaces or things like this. Audio things. And then there's ChatGPT. And then also there's, I looked up those detectors. So there's like AI content detectors or something. I don't know what you would call it right now, but it's basically a tool that you can paste your copy into, and it scans it and estimates like how likely it is to be flagged as AI generated content. Like how like is it too AI generated? Like obviously, and then you can actually like adjust the content and resubmit it, and it will scan it again and give you like an updated ranking or rating on it. So I was able to like put in stuff I generated from ChatGPT for like a landing page, and it did give me that signal like this has been flagged for like too much AI. And then I like adjusted it and deleted some stuff out or whatever, and then it was like, okay, you're like, it gave me the green. Like this is good to go. I don't know how entirely accurate those tools are, of course. Like this is all new to me as well, but those tools actually exist for that reason.
Yeah, I've seen those too, and actually I saw something that was really funny. And you know, maybe they're not very accurate right now, but I'm sure over time the accuracy will increase of those types of tools. But somebody put like a couple pages of the Bible in one, and it came up as like being very highly likely that it was AI generated, which is kind of funny. So, yeah, I don't know how accurate they are either, but this is a whole new world for all of us for sure.
Actually, yeah, I'll add real quickly. Like I'm in a whole lot of writing groups and things, like professional writers, and not just novelists, but also professional journalists and so on. And loads of them have said that they'll be submitting something and it gets flagged as AI generated. And of course, like in some of those cases, and it's not at all like they did not use any software, but it still gets flagged.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the rule of thumb will end up being, let's heavily review AI generated content. And I guess it's less important for Twitter and stuff like that at the moment, but for things for SEO purposes, we just need to make sure that we're scrubbing it in whatever way we think makes sense. So, is there anyone else from the group that wants to say anything about this? I mean, I know, Jake, you're not usually creating content for comms, so like no pressure.
I've played with it, but yeah, I haven't really done anything comms related. That's why I didn't really speak up. I'd be interested, of course, to continue learning more. I'm on the same Telegram group and see all the cool things come in, and when I have time, I click on it. But not opposed to it, just not too involved with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Nicola.
I have just like little insights from my experience. I have been trying to use it a little bit for the tweets just to help me like actually like simplify the message. I mean, it's something that I have to go into and like anyway rewrite the whole thing. So it's helpful a little bit. But on the other hand, like speaking of my experience with folks from Gravity DAO and the way that we are using GPT there, I am noticing that once you have this like one account, one central place that you feed the chat all the information, and they're like using the paid version. So once I come there and this place is already fed with all the relevant information, it is just so easy for it like to ask to generate something that's related to the content, and you don't have to explain much. It just like gives you everything that it's basically, it already knows so much. So like I'm noticing that like maybe if like there's a consideration for using a GPT for Giveth comms, then maybe using one account and like have it fed with all the relevant Giveth information can make much more sense and can make it much more easier in terms of like generating really relevant and like educated content. Something that I would love to learn personally is like the cool prompts, because I feel like the content really is relevant to how well you can prompt it. And yeah, I found just like some simple prompts from you, Lauren, last time around like writing the lead tweets, just like so fun. And it's really about like having the creative ideas around like, yeah, giving the right prompts. So that's my insights on this.
Okay, cool. And Makizi, I wanted to give you a chance as well to respond.
Okay. I use ChatGPT very often. Yeah, but that's outside Giveth actually. Yeah, I use it to summarize a large report or a large article. I use it for that. But I use it with other AI that is BARD, BARD, like Google. So I use that with it. Yeah. But ChatGPT is actually the best for me because it has a line of thought, and it doesn't divert attention from what you're saying. Just like if you type to Google now, like you try to find a word in Google, you have different line of thought. But using ChatGPT, it has a single line of thought. So yeah, ChatGPT is good. Yeah, but I'm open also to learn more and yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I was just a little bit aware of the time. Wanted to make sure you all had a chance to respond. That's super interesting insights. Also from you, Nicola. And yeah, I just wanted to gauge interest from everyone. And yeah, I think I'm glad to hear that everyone's pretty much using it. And like I said, I'm like super happy to set up a hack session where we maybe come together even like and just co-work and hack on ChatGPT. Also would like to explore on the strategy side, having access to these tools for comms, right? Because there's paid versions, there's also image generation, but that's also a paid product. So yeah, it's also an interesting idea to have like one Giveth comms channel, or maybe there's a way we can set up like a training. What if we had like a way to like that we could each train our own Giveth bot? So it's a little more decentralized and we don't just have like one, account, unless it's possible to share accounts. I don't know. I think it'd be good to just like explore ChatGPT use for comms and Midjourney as well. So
Yeah,
we're a little
almost like an
more
A/B
flexible.
testing kind of thing where you have like two different types and depending on the information it's given. That could definitely be interesting. What tool are you using to detect the AI stuff?
I have to dig and find the name again. It was like a random one that I was like, I'm just going to see if this works or whatever. And I did it for the project, but I would love to look into, maybe there's better ones also.
Okay.
Might be worth paying for. I don't think these are big charges, but it's just a thought of like scaling comms without hiring lots of new contributors. There's the possibility to be using these tools. We don't have to rely on Rodri for every little design thing. If we want to add a lot of imagery into our content, we can get pretty high quality. Yeah, like between Descript, ChatGPT, Midjourney, and having like a scanning tool for AI generated content. I think those 4 things, for instance, would be an interesting group of tools to have and have everyone trained on them, So this adds a lot of context to see where we're at. So that's cool. I know we're just over the time. So to respect everyone's time, I will say we're good with this call today. And just want to, again, big reminder, we have a strategy call tomorrow. So if you want to join, it's going to be at 5:30 p.m. Central European time in the middle of the ETH Barcelona call.
All right. Thanks, Corey.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody.
Everyone, have a good day.
Have a great day.